Hey, welcome back to another Moralis video. My name is Bharat, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Moralis NFT API and how you can use this API to fetch any kind of NFT data on Optimism. So let's get started. So if you're following along, I'm just going to give you a quick walkthrough of Moralis NFT API. And as you can see, Moralis NFT API basically powers some of the top applications in the Web3 space. And coming to what exactly you get with the NFT API, you get comprehensive APIs to get any kind of data on NFTs. So you can basically get enriched metadata, you get NFT transfers, you can get data on NFT owners. You also get spam detection, which means now whenever you query certain NFTs with the APIs, you can just filter out all the spam. You can also get on-chain prices, which means you're going to get like floor prices, last sale prices, etc. You also get optimized image previews, which means you don't have to worry about various image formats, etc. You can directly just use the response that you get in order to render certain images of the NFTs, etc. Apart from that, you also can use the lightning fast speed, which you basically get from all of our APIs, which means you're going to get it all straight in one response. You don't have to wait very long to get the responses as well. And apart from that, you can also use the Streams API in order to query or listen to certain events on chain. And let's say you're listening to whenever an NFT got minted or it got burnt, you can basically set up streams in order to do that and basically plugs very well with all of our APIs. Apart from that, you also have the cross chain compatibility, which means that you can query NFTs across any of our supported networks and directly get access to all this kind of NFT data. So to get started, we can basically head over to OpenSea. So I'm basically going to open up OpenSea, which is one of the most popular marketplaces on Optimism. So as you can see, where right now I have a specific NFT right here. So this is basically set on the Optimism chain. This is the contract address of the NFT that we're looking at right now, and this is the token ID. So what I'm going to show you is how you can essentially query data about any NFT on Optimism. So if I go back to the collection, you can see we have got data about all of the NFTs on Optimism. I'm going to show you how you can use our APIs in order to get all of this data, which means if you're building your own NFT marketplace or if you're building any kind of NFT applications, you will be able to directly use our APIs in order to get any kind of NFT data, like the prices, the floor price, the metadata, etc. So to get started, you can basically just click on any NFT here, and that takes you to the NFT page where you can see the contract address, token ID. Apart from that, you can see if it has traits, you can find it here. This has got a category and it's got all of that. You can also find details like the contract address, token ID, the token standard, etc. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try querying the data about this particular NFT. So I'm just going to start with heading over to Moralis. So once you're here at developers.moralis.com, you can just click on login, and that's going to take you straight to our dashboard where you can find out all the data about your API key, your computer usage, etc. You also have links to docs, tutorials right here, so it's perfect to follow along. So you can just click on docs, and our docs is available at docs.moralis.com. And here you can find like the reference for all of our supported APIs and networks. So to start with, let's head over to NFT API. And as you can see, we've got the NFT APIs for any kind of NFT data, like the NFTs by wallet, by contract. You can get NFT metadata, you can get transfers, collections, owners, prices, etc. So for now to start with, let's try querying the NFT metadata for this specific NFT. So I'm just going to head over to get NFT metadata, and I have got the API right here. So if you click on method documentation, you can see this is the API that lets you get NFT metadata. You can put in like the contract address, token ID, and you can set various fields here. So I'm going to go over all of these as well so you can follow. So you need to paste the API key from Moralis. So I've already done that right here. So once you're here in the dashboard, just copy your API key and paste it right here so that you'll be able to copy the requests across various languages and run them on your terminal. So we're going to try querying the NFT metadata for this NFT. So I'm just going to copy the contract address and let's put it in right here. And let's take the token ID as well. So now that I've taken both of them, we're all set. And let's set the chain to Optimism. So I'm just going to do that. There we go. So now you can see this is the API that you basically query, deep index slash API slash v2.2. And if you look at this, this is how you basically can get the NFT metadata for a specific NFT and token ID. So now that we have this right here, Let's look at some other fields. So you can see the format of the token ID. So if you're passing the token ID as a hex, you can also set that as well. Normalized metadata is basically so that you get the metadata in a normalized format. Yeah, that makes it a lot easier whenever you're querying or want to render certain NFTs on your pages, etc. It's all just in a neat normalized format that you can just access. So if you want to find out more data about that, you can just click here and it's going to take you to the normalized metadata page. And that tells you all about the NFT normalization, etc. Apart from that, you also have whether or not to include the NFT prices, etc. So we can just query this right here. You can either run test live API here, or else you can also just copy the curl command and run it on your terminal. So I'm going to run it on my terminal so that it's easier for you to see. So there we go. So now let's wait for this. There you go. So now we've basically got the metadata for our NFT. And if you look at the fields right here, you can get the amount, you can get the token ID, the token address, the contract type. You can find owner of. You can also get the metadata right here. So this is in a non-normalized form. So the same thing which you see right here in a normalized form is available in the normalized metadata field. So that's what you set the normalized metadata for. So you can see we've got the token hash, token URI, the minter address, and you can also see we've got normalized metadata for it. So this is essentially how you can use the NFT API in order to query and get data on a specific NFT. So if you want to try this out for some other NFTs, let's go back here and let's try looking at some more popular NFT collections. So we just need to set the chain to Optimism here. So I'm just going to do that. There we go. Let's look at top, and you can see all of the top NFTs or trending NFTs on Optimism. So you can just click on any given NFT here. And now that we're basically on this particular NFT, you can try querying the NFT for this particular contract. So you can see we've got the monkey NFT here. You can see the listings, you can see the price history, all of that. So let's try querying this NFT data and let's see what we get. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to try out some different API for this. So let's actually try out probably the NFT transfers. So we're going to be able to get all of this transfers data you see right here. So to do this, you just need the contract address and token ID, which is available right here. And let's go into get NFT transfers. There you go. And now let's put in the token ID, which is 32. So I'm going to type it out and set the chain to Optimism here. Okay, there we go. So now you can see we've got the curl command here. I'm just going to copy this. Let's open a new window. There you go. So now we have basically got all of the NFT transfers data. And as you can see, the first looks like the first transfer is basically from the zero address, which means it was just minted. So that's the mint transaction. And from the mint, you have basically got all of the transfers that happened to this particular NFT. And if you want to actually verify this matches, so let's see right here. Okay, so looks like we can't scroll beyond this for some reason. So I'm just going to open this up here and let's try comparing this straight from here. So when I run test live API here, you can see we've got all of the NFT data. So the latest transaction happened on this given date. We go here, you can see the transfer. This was the particular transfer and looks like this actually just happened 33 minutes ago. So that's the NFT transfer. And if you look at the transaction hash, so if we try opening up this transaction, you can see this is the transaction hash 0x5b. And if you look at this right here, you've got 0x5b4b as well. So this is essentially how you can get all of the NFT transfers. And all of this is basically super real time, which means that you can get all of the NFT activity as soon as it's happened on chain. So that's how you can use the NFT transfers API in order to retrieve the NFT transfers. So let's try looking at some other NFT APIs right here. So I'm going to try querying the price. So let's try get NFT floor price by token. And let's go back into the same NFT we were looking at. I'm just going to try copying this contract address. Let's paste it right here. And let's also copy the token ID, which is basically 32. And put it right here. And now we should set the chain to Okay, looks like the NFT floor prices are available only on ETH and Base. So what we could do is we can go back here and we can look at NFT sale prices or NFT contract sale prices, etc. So I'm going to look at NFT sale prices. And if we look at this, okay, there we go. So now we have got Optimism here. We should be able to get the NFT data for this particular NFT. So I'm going to try querying this. Let's get the chain. There we go. Let's set the chain to Optimism. And now if you hit test live API, we should get the data. Okay, we have not put in the correct API key, looks like. So I'm just going to copy the API key again. There we go. And let's paste it right here. And now let's hit test live API. There you go. So now you have got all of the sale prices for this particular NFT. You can see the latest sale, the price at which it happened, the formatted price. You get the payment token. So in case the user paid in USDC or ETH, etc., you can find out all of that data as well. So that's how you can use the NFT sale prices API in order to get all the sale prices for the given NFT. So coming to some of the other APIs that you have, you can basically use the NFT APIs in order to query NFT trades, NFT owners, etc. So if you want to try NFT owners, we're going to try getting the owners for this. Let's try maybe a different one for this given NFT. So I'm just going to put in the contract address right here and let's set the chain to Optimism. So where do we have Optimism? There we go. So now that we have put in the chain, now we've got this right here and we should be able to actually query the NFT owners by contract. So it's going to get us all of the NFT owners for this given contract address. So there you go. So these are essentially all the owners for the NFT. So we're not actually querying the owners for a specific NFT itself. We're querying it across the collection. So as you can see for this given contract address, you're getting all of the owners like you're across all the NFTs as well. So that's how you can use the NFT owners API in order to get the NFT owners data. And if you look at this, you get the token ID owners as well. So this is specific to a given token ID. So if you want to go back into this one and let's put in the NFT contract and token ID, we should be able to try this out. Just gonna, okay, let's try refreshing this and let's copy the contract address right here. All right, looks like we have some issue with the example value here. So let's try it out right here. There we go. So now we have pasted the address. Let's put in the token ID as well. Okay. Now let's set the chain to Optimism. So as you can see, we have Optimism right here. And now if you hit test live API, there you go. So now you have got all of the owners of this given NFT. So if you look at this, looks like they don't have the owners data, but essentially all of the previous owners, the 25, this address, you will be able to find all of that right here. So that's how you can use the Moralis NFT API in order to get any kind of NFT data on Optimism. We saw how you could get NFT transfers, NFT sale prices, NFT metadata. So let's maybe look at get NFTs by contract. So if you look at this, this is the API that ultimately lets you build this kind of a UI. So we're basically having all of the NFTs that belong to this given collection. So let's try querying the contract address. So I'm just going to open this up and this is the contract address of the NFT. So now I'm going to go back here and let's put in the contract address right here. And let's also set the chain to Optimism. Now that we have it all set, you can just hit test live API. You can see it's still running. Now we've got 200. Okay. So now that's how you can get all of the NFT that belong to a given contract. And as you can see, we've got the token address, we've got the token URI, you've got the rarity rank, you've got the rarity percentage, etc. In case your token has like rare NFTs, etc., you get all of the rarity ranking and all that data right here. So that's how you can use the Moralis NFT API in order to get any kind of NFT data. So we went over the metadata APIs, the NFTs by wallet, NFTs by contract, etc. So you can try out all of the APIs to get any kind of NFT data on Optimism. And if you have any questions related to the NFT APIs, feel free to drop it in the chat and I'll be sure to get to them. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to stay tuned to all of our further videos. Thank you.